Hey guys, it's Russell Morgan, the Texas Road Warrior. Today we're kind of looking like the Wolverine, a little more hairy than the Wolverine. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about home equity. We're going to talk about what exactly equity is. We're going to talk about how we could pull it out of that piece of property and what we can ultimately do or should do with that equity. All right, so without further ado, let's jump in there and get started. Okay, let's dive right in there. So, home equity. Home equity, we're going to talk about what home equity is. We're going to talk about how we can make it usable and ways we can use it. Now, before we get started, I am not a financial advisor or a mortgage professional. Obviously, I'm not a videographer either. So if you do want to know more about this, please seek the advice of somebody that is a professional and knows more about this. And that way they can guide you in making the better decisions and the ways you can go about doing it. This is basically a general overview at this point. So what is equity? The definition of equity or home equity is the difference between the property's current market value and the amount owed on it. Now, equity has grown substantially over the past year. In a Keep Current Matters article referring to the latest Equity Insights report from CoreLogic, homeowners have gained an average of $51,500 in equity over the past years. Now, why did that equity grow, or what made that equity grow? Well, it's the home values in general across the U.S. have grown substantially, therefore increases the gap between the current value of most homes and the amount owed. Therefore, that has the big growth with that equity. Now, how can you access your equity? There are three different ways. There's home equity loan. There's the home equity line of credit, also known as a HELOC. And then, of course, there's the cash out refinance or refi. Let's talk about the home equity loan. The home equity loan is a second mortgage with a fixed amount that is repaid over a set period. It works just like a principal mortgage, which means that each payment is divided between an interest and principal. And home equity loan is typically slightly higher in interest rate than the primary mortgage. This is because the primary lender is the one to be repaid first if the property was going to go to foreclosure. Therefore, it makes it a little more risky for the loan for the mortgage companies. Now let's talk about home equity line of credit. Again, this is also known as a HELOC. A HELOC is very flexible. It is also a secondary mortgage with a revolving balance, though. So this means you can borrow what you need, pay it off, then borrow again. It works similar manner to a credit card, but is slightly lower with their interest rates. Your payment is based on the amount that you've actually used rather than your total line of credit amount that you could draw on. And most of these will come with a checkbook or a debit card so you can easily access these funds. Now, unlike the other two, the HELOC usually comes with no closing costs, and has adjustable rates and varies with the prime rate, meaning the rate could go up and down over the life of that actual loan. Now, a HELOC rate is often discounted at the beginning of the loan and then will increase after 6 to 12 months. Now, a HELOC is typically divided into two stages: the draw stage or draw period and the repayment period. The draw period is typically from 5 to 10 years, and during this time you can draw your money up to the actual line of credit that they give you. And when you're making your payments, you're making interest-only payments. During the repayment period, this is the final amount that you withdrawn becomes a loan, and is repaid with interest and within a specific time, often 10 to 20 years. During this time, you can no longer draw on that account. It is just like basically a loan, and you're repaying the loan. All right, now we're on to the cash out refinancing. Now, unlike the other two, the cash out refinancing is not considered a secondary loan necessarily. It is often used in the same manner, but in this case, you are refinancing your home for the larger amount, which allows you to take that difference and take it out in cash, so you can use it. The closing costs are typically a little bit higher in some cases because you end up with less equity in your home than you did before. That's the reason why banks may think that this is a little more, or think you're a little more risky with this. Now, which one is the best? Yeah, it all depends. Again, this is a time that you would go and talk to a professional, discuss your options on what is going to be the best one for you to use, depending on what you're going to do with it. All right. So you can also help build your equity in your home by doing a few different things. One, making larger down payments to begin with. That automatically increases your equity that you would have in that house from day one when you buy it. You can also make larger or extra mortgage payments. Now, this one is one that you would have to check with your mortgage or lending entity to make sure that you can actually do this. Some allow and some don't. But this can help build equity in your home faster. I also like it this because it will save you a ton of money in the long run in interest payments. So you can significantly cut down the amount of time it takes you to pay off your house if you consistently do this. So I highly recommend that you take a hard look at this, find out what you can do, and if you can do this, please do it. Yes, definitely find out more, talk to a professional or what have you, but really look into that one. Now, you can also add value through remodeling or home improvement projects on your house. This will increase your home's worth, and then therefore the gap between your home's value and how much you actually owe on it. Now, be careful with this one because you can actually go too far with your improvements. So meaning if you have a house and you do double the amount in improvements on the house, what happens with that is the market around you actually helps dictate what the worth of your house is in most cases. So you can hit a ceiling with that. And if you go above it, you're not going to increase the value, the market value of your house that much. So again, be careful with that and look out for that. Now, ideas of how you can actually use the equity once you pull it out. First of all, you can upsize. You can take that extra equity you have and turn that in and get a bigger house. On that same note, you could downsize, pull out some of that equity, downsize, or pull out the equity or sell the house, downsize, and have that equity as well. You can move to your dream location. Obviously, you're going to have a little more money because that equity's there. You sell your house, and you can move to a more suitable place wherever you want to be. You can start a business. It's a good thing to do. Fund education. Now, this could be for yourself or for a family member. Grow yourself is always good. Pay off higher interest loans if you want to. If you have a couple of higher interest loans, it may be worth your while to check into doing that. You can buy a second home. Maybe you want a lake house or a house on the river or what have you. You can use your equity in that way if you want. But this is my favorite, buying investment properties. This is the gift that keeps on giving. You pull out that equity, you buy another piece of property, and say you're doing rentals, what have you with it, then that's making you more and more money. You can continue to do this and build your real estate empire. All right, so there you have it, guys. I hope you learned a little bit about equity, and you're going to explore a little bit more if that's something you're interested in. Remember to seek professional help with that. If you have got something out of this, if you like the content, please like below and follow so we can reach more people and they can join us in our journey. Obviously, right now I need to work on my because they're all over the place, but let's get out there and I will see you guys on the road.